Welcome back to Coin Lady channel. The topic of discussion is XRP. The topic of banking regulations will also be discussed. Let's check it out. The U.S. Treasury Secretary has called an urgent meeting of financial industry leaders. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has convened a meeting of the industry's highest regulators on short notice. Bloomberg also reported that the Financial Stability Oversight Council would be present at the meeting, which would be closed to the public. The banking industry of the country has been experiencing growing turmoil, and this meeting comes at a crucial time. Yellen has reportedly asked the Federal Reserve and FDIC's top officials to address the concerns of the market and depositors. But didn't she just guarantee the security of financial institutions? Shouldn't you be saving it in a bank? The same thing was said by Jerome Powell. It's not that banks are failing, rather, I believe that people are finally becoming aware of the dangers of banking and are fleeing the institutions in large numbers. And now they are worried that even more financial institutions will fail. Leave a comment and tell me what you think, Justin. Whatever Jim Cramer says, you can expect the opposite to occur, so if he says Deutsche Bank is very profitable and doing well, then it looks like Deutsche Bank could be the next default. Now, mission choke. The truth and the conspiracy of version 2.0 coexist in the same sentence. How does that function, exactly? As crypto professionals, we can attest to the veracity of Operation Choke 2.0. Over the past few months, we've seen the SEC crack down on a wide variety of cryptocurrency projects and high-profile individuals. But there's more to it than that. This enters the financial sector. Is it possible that the government precipitated a worldwide economic meltdown to eliminate cryptocurrency? In January of 2023, it became evident that the war on crypto had entered a new phase under the Biden administration. It has become much more difficult for the cryptocurrency industry to function, as some in the crypto space have noticed highly coordinated activity between White House financial regulators and the Fed. This raises concerns because it represents an attempt to usurp authority well beyond that which would normally rest with the executive. So, not only is the SEC overstepping their bounds, but so is the executive. Members of Congress such as Senator Hagerty, Representative Davidson, and Whip Emmer echoed these concerns. The subsequent House hearing attempted to establish whether or not the regulatory harassment in question violated any laws. It wasn't just those in charge of banking regulations. Efforts by regulators in the United States to cripple the cryptocurrency industry have increased dramatically over the past month. The bottom line is as follows. The crypto industry doesn't need me or you. They want crypto innovation to leave the country, and they don't want banks touching crypto. And that is the current situation. And I think something more substantial is happening offstage. Everything that has happened recently, I believe, can be traced back to the World Economic Forum. A Cbdc emergency power grab is rapidly approaching the United States. Those in power are of the opinion that a monetary social credit score system is the only way things can be fixed. That's the end goal, anyway. That is the true reason for everything that is taking place. They are committed to moving the Cbdc forward at full speed. Early adopters of real-time payments are drawn to FedNo. Now we see here, so Bridge Community Bank, the processor ACI Worldwide Star One Credit Union, and the fintech Temenos will all be early adopters of the FedNo faster payment system once it launches in July. But will it really launch in July? That's the million-dollar question, especially since other politicians are beginning to introduce legislation. The argument against CBDCs, or digital currencies issued by central banks, strengthens daily. A new Central Bank Digital Currency Act or No CBDC Act was just introduced by Senator Mike Lee today. Now, I feel compelled to emphasize this to you guys because it's crucial. These bills would prevent the United States from issuing a CBDC, which would be beneficial because CBDCs threaten the future of financial privacy, freedom, and markets. For instance, the bill proposed by Senator Lee would set firm limits on the authority of both the Federal Reserve and the Treasury. Fed Chair Jerome Powell and former Vice Chair Lael Brainard have repeatedly avoided answering questions about the scope of the Fed's legal authority to issue a CBDC. Under the Biden administration, the Treasury also appears to have taken the initiative to advance CBDCs. In light of these new developments, it is evident that Senator Lee's strategy is appropriate. Keep in mind how frequently we hear Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell assure us that the banking system is secure and that CBDCs are still years away. She's also actively working to push a CBDC behind the scenes. This legislation is being passed because politicians have finally come to terms with their hidden agenda. Is the SEC dropping a nuclear bomb now? For judges to provide guidance on when tokens become securities and when trading tokens requires registration, cases like this one involving Coinbase and the Wells notice are necessary. In a note to customers, TD Coin policy analyst Jared Steinberg discussed the use of TD Coin as an exchange. Having the SEC go after Coinbase won't be good for the industry in the long run. According to him, the impending legal battle with the SEC is a good thing. As in the current Ripple case, a judge will have to decide whether or not a given asset meets the definition of a security. But I think this is more than that. I think Gary is just trying to make crypto less popular in the United States. Keep in mind that BlackRock and Coinbase work together. Never in a million years did I imagine the SEC would target Coinbase. There are now voices saying that this is just BlackRock's attempt at an easy power grab. They intend to establish control. Coinbase. However, I'm not convinced that will actually occur. Coinbase has decided to begin supporting pro-cryptocurrency candidates in upcoming US elections. Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, has announced the company will begin making political contributions to pro-cryptocurrency candidates in the United States. In addition, the statement is timed to coincide with the company's receipt of a Wells notice from the US SEC the previous day. In particular, Armstrong pushed for the election of pro-cryptocurrency candidates, noting that the exchange would be working to organize crypto users in support of candidates who could have a positive impact on the industry as a whole. Indeed, I share your sentiments. It doesn't matter to me if they're a Democrat or a Republican. I'm an investor in cryptocurrency, so if they support the industry, I'm more likely to vote for them. I have a lot invested in crypto and would like to see the industry flourish in the US. I hope they will stop trying to ignore it. Coinbase. The SEC, a local organization, has filed suit against us. Oh, no. Shocker. We share your sorrow. Ripple. The SEC community has filed suit against us. Oh, I'm not going to tell you that no one loves you. This neighborhood is perfect for anyone. In a similar vein, when Ripple was sued, many commented, well, that's a Ripple problem. Some people didn't fully appreciate the scope of the SEC case until much later. They began to understand that Ripple represents the entire cryptocurrency industry and that its success represents crypto's overall success. People were already shocked by the hack, but now that it's Coinbase, most of them are worried about their savings. The tide has turned, so to speak. No one should ever hope that the SEC prevails in its lawsuit against Coinbase. Coinbase deserves your support just as much as Ripple does. Because, despite my criticisms, I truly hope Coinbase succeeds. Advocate legal counsel for XRP. Over 2,000 messages have been sent as part of a new campaign to warn lawmakers about SEC overreach. This latest effort is timed with Coinbase's disclosure on Wednesday that it had received a Wells notice from the regulator. Johnny Deaton is an unabashed supporter of crypto in all its forms, and it was he who devised this particular method of communicating with the legislative branch. The rules that the SEC must enforce are written by Congress. The time for American owners of digital assets to make their voices heard has arrived. And if you have any cryptocurrency, you should follow this advice. Congress needs to take action, and you should help make that case. They need to establish protocols for handling cryptography. Gary Gensler must be restrained immediately. SEC vs. Ripple. Here's the latest development as pro-Ripple attorney Jeremy Hogan took to Twitter to share his thoughts on the SEC's response and the rising hopes for a speedier resolution. The SEC has responded to Ripple's supplemental authority request. As he put it, the Bittner case is discussed, and while that is important, the reports attempt to argue that the Voyager judge did not state that the crypto space faced obvious uncertainty is laughable, he said. Hogan elaborates, I think these are two cases that are bad for the SEC, and that this reply negates the Bittner decision as little while not taking away much by from the Voyager judge's ruling that the Voyager order is really good for Ripple and now hopes for a quicker resolution grow. Elena Torres of Fox Business suggests that the legal impasse between Ripple and the SEC may be coming to a close. In the coming days, Judge Torres may rule on summary judgment motions, according to attorneys involved in the case quoted by the report. We can only hope so. It's possible that either Ripple or the SEC will come out on top. The judge could also decide to force a trial as an outcome. That is something we really hope doesn't occur. A few months at least. The article focused on 3 potential outcomes. In a recent interview with CNBC, Ripple President Monica Long expressed optimism about the company's chances of settling the SEC case favorably. Having this matter resolved as soon as possible is something I desperately want. I simply must have it occur. Most of you, I'm sure, are eagerly anticipating it. Take out your calculator right now and conservatively multiply your current XRP holdings by $13, as that is essentially a guarantee. The majority of the crypto community on Twitter seems to agree with that valuation. All the growth around the XRP ledger both last year and this year, as well as all the growth around Ripple and XRP, and all those new HODL corridors opening all the time, gives me hope that it will continue to rise. I anticipate that it will rise towards $30. Then we'll have to see what happens next with ISO. Keep in mind that, so far as I'm aware, ISO hasn't produced anything of value. That, too, is something that will come later, but I don't think we're quite there yet. The future is looking bright for all of us, and things are looking up for XRP holders. Hold tight, keep a positive outlook, and wait for the truth to emerge. I'm confident that it will be worth the wait. This concludes my commentary on this topic for this video. Please accept my gratitude for tuning in, and please like and subscribe my channel. See you in the next video. Bye.